So, in the first week, we started developing Adventures of Alexia. We created the basic functions such as the walking, the running, and the jumping. We also created a health system and the power-ups. Now, it's time to cover what we did in the second week. But before we begin, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and if you have, please hit the bell icon so you never miss the next one. There's also a like button, and apparently that increases engagement, so please make sure to hit the like button too if you like this video. Thank you. In the second week, we set up version control, meaning that now if something goes wrong, I can just put it to the last version I committed, where it works just fine. It also makes writing the script a lot easier too, since I can remind myself what I did this week. This repository is private though, since I don't want anybody to access the code. I would love to make it open source, but then people could just redistribute the game and claim it as their own. And I want the game to have a price tag. I haven't decided how much it'll cost yet. It depends on the final product, but it will not surpass 6 Great British pounds or about $8 US. After setting up version control, I created a sprite sheet for the player, which I will keep upgrading with new animations. Meaning we now have a definite player sprite that we will be working with. I'm sure you all will love it. I definitely do love it for sure. On the screen you can see the sprite sheet for the player. I really love the design for it, and I'm excited to continue working on more animations for her. Her name is Alexia, if you cannot tell from the title of the game. She's the main protagonist. She'll be going on a long adventure fighting a bunch of bugs and creatures, and her main goal is to stop an apocalypse of alien creatures. So when she starts on this adventure, she'll start off with encountering regular Earth-like creatures, and then as she progresses, more and more alien creatures she'll encounter, and there will hopefully be boss fights too, so I cannot wait. Now, there are things that she should collect as she progresses on her adventures, and these things will include keys and coins. Keys will be for unlocking chests and unlocking doors. There will be 2 or 3 per level, sometimes there will be 1 or 4, and then coins will be for buying certain perks and also trophies that will appear on the title screen. Now, as she goes on this adventure, she will encounter platforms that are really high up, in which there will be walls on either side. So I decided to add a wall jump mechanic, and as part of adding this mechanic, I also added wall sliding. This will allow Alexia to get to hard to reach places. After that, Alexia needed to be able to kill creatures that get in the way. So I added the ability for her to attack. This means that now she can defend herself from these mean creatures that want to attack her. Now, when I added this mechanic, I encountered a bug while testing it. The bug was that when she attacks while wall jumping, she retains the Y velocity when she attacks, yet she can't move. So I showed this bug to a bunch of people to see what they thought of it, and a majority of them told me to keep the bug and improve on it. So that's what I did. I fixed the bug first, so I can add the bug as a feature. So once I fixed the bug, I created a variable for it so that after you tag me there, you get boosted upwards. This is great for certain areas that don't have a double wall, so I'll be making sure to design levels with this feature in mind, but also levels where you have to use this mechanic to get up to high places. Earlier, I forgot to mention that I added the heart flash sprite, so now when Alexia takes damage, she loses a heart and the heart splash to indicate that she lost a heart. This will hopefully make players aware that they've just lost a heart and that they should aim to be careful. I also created a font for this game, which you can tell from the top right corner of the HUD, where it displays the coin count and the key count. This was all from my design. Speaking of the HUD, when I created the keys and the coins, I needed to make sure that the players could see how many they collected, so I created the key and coin count. Originally, when I created it, there was no dark panel behind the text, so whenever the camera was over anything bright, you couldn't read the text at all. So I decided to create a panel solve that problem. I wanted to do an outline, but Godot's outline system didn't allow for pixel protection. It would always have transparent pixels, and I didn't like that. So I resorted to making the panels. What do you think? Do you like them? I also created autoload so that I could store levels that the player completed and player variables such as coin count and key count. This is also to make it easier when making the save and load system in the future. Anyways, that is everything I have done in week 2. I really hope you loved the progress made this week. I believe that a lot has been done this week compared to last week. If you noticed earlier when I showed the list of commits made, there are commits where I redid the attack and damage system. That's because the auto system was too clunky and awkward. It was really difficult to work with too. I had to redo it so many times to perfect it, but I'm happy with what we got now. In week 3 I will have to work on making actual enemies. That means plan out and spray each enemy that I want in the game, and also code each enemy to have their own behavior. I also need to create a life system so that you don't get kicked out of the level unless you died with 0 life remaining. I'll also need to work on more sounds too, like I did for the coins and the keys. Once I have done that, I will need to work on UI menus such as the pause screen, the title screen and the main menu. The level select will be more interactive where you travel to the next level instead of pressing a button to get to it. Apart from that, this week was a great week and I cannot wait for next week. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Adventures of Alexia DevLog series. If you have, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon. Also comment what you liked about this week's progress and what you'd like to see in the game for the future. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.